Hello. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. My hotkeys weren't working. Hey, Mondo. Hey, Wrestling Wisconsin. What is up? I had a hotkey set up to in OBS to start my intro. Then I had a hotkey to basically enable the game, video, and audio, and a whole bunch of other things. And the second hotkey combination didn't work. Sitting here hitting a bunch of keys, nothing's happening. I've not been to Wisconsin in general, so I was guaranteed I haven't been to Ellsworth. Hey, Dave, what's up? Hey, Tanya. So tonight we are closing out the server, harvesting the last 3 fields, selling the land, selling the pigs, selling the hardware, seeing what we got. I went back and looked. February 17th we started the map, and we started with $500,000 of cash. We had to buy everything from the farm to all of our equipment to all of our well, everything. So we'll see once we're done selling everything, basically how much cash we got. Hey Alex, thanks for the compliment. No problem. Glad you like them. And we will be on Thursday, we will be on a new map, doing a new live stream series. I'm going to be running a BGA operation on that map. Trying to contract out with farmers to plant crop for me. Contracting and helping bring in the chaff harvest, compact it and everything. And I'll pay the farmers for chaff, and then I will reap the rewards of the silage sales. And then farmers that help me out by growing the corn, I will basically provide them the digestate, the byproduct of the fermentation, or not the fermentation, but byproduct of processing the silage. I'll provide that back to those farmers at no cost. It's in their benefit. Help me out. Alex, I've figured out how we're going to run it, or how I'm going to run my BGA. The map has 2 BGAs, so I'm not really sure how Roy is going to run his. But the way we're going to work mine is I'm going to give any farmer that plants corn for me, I'm going to give them $10,000 up front. So if you commit to grow corn in your field, I'm going to give you a check for 10 grand up front. Now, the 10 grand is to help you basically plow, cultivate, fertilize, lime, weed, plant, all of that. And then when it comes time to harvest, I will pay the farmer $2,500 for every 50,000 liter container of full container of chaff that comes off his field. So we're going to be using the IT runner modules on the new map. I figured I could buy a bunch of IT containers and some trailers and a truck or two, and basically leave 4 or 5 containers at the field side, and a crew of a couple folks could basically work, loading and unloading full and empty containers at the field side, and I could, or somebody else could, basically run a truck, picking up the fulls, taking them to the BGA, dumping them, bringing the empty back, dropping it off field side, picking up the next full, and basically running it that way. And if I pay them $2,500 per 50,000 liters, I know that I'm going to make about $10,000 when I eventually sell that silage. So that's a $7,500 profit. Of course, some of that profit is eaten by the $10,000 up front. We got our pigs. But it won't be that much. And then, I also have the overhead of compacting and selling the silage. And then the digestate that I get, I did a test run with 50,000 liters of silage. And I got 20-some thousand liters of digestate out of that 50K. So I'm going to turn around and offer back to the farmers that work with me on growing my corn. I'm going to offer them the digestate at no cost. I'll have a spreader that they can use, or I can go and basically apply it to their fields. I'm going to use the small Samson one with a cultivation attachment on the back. So I think that's how I'm going to run it. It's going to be 6 farms on the map, 2 BGAs, so 8 unique farms, if you will. Well, yeah, I've put some thought into it because I want to try to play it different than just playing the map, just farming. Because to be quite honest, it's getting a bit repetitive, and the only thing that's keeping it entertaining is cycling the maps and trying to play different. If it's just churn and burn, harvest, plant, harvest, it gets old pretty quick. But so we're trying to change it up a little bit. And one day Seasons is going to come out, and it's going to be like the angels singing and everything. It'll be the best day ever. And at that point, the game will have, as far as I'm concerned, the game will have some sense of meaning to it. For me, Seasons in 17 came out right at the right time, where it was starting to really get boring, and it was really just a map hunt. How quick can I, how many maps? At one point in time, I was playing 5 maps simultaneously. Just trying to keep it interesting. And I'd have notes like, okay, what am I doing on this map? What am I doing on this other map? Because it would just become too repetitive. Hey, Genetic, what's up? Hey, Ross. CV Kurt. Tears of joy, Genetic A. Tears of joy. I don't know, Ross. Where'd you hear that from? That's fun.
All right, I've probably got 1.5 swipes left on this, so 2. And then if you want to swap, you can.
All right, that's fine. Working. I'm almost back to the farm on the second trip to pigs. Rumor mill, huh? I don't know. When would end of spring be? Is end of spring like June? Or is end of spring like May? Oops, wrong way. It's what, March now? So 2 months, 2.5 months, is that what you're saying? Alright, so go to a load of pigs. 59. Let's check them again. They are all good. They're all good. So we already sold our slurry spreader, our manure spreader. We sold the cultivator. We sold our seeders, our weeder, our sprayer, fertilizer, and our lime spreaders. We already sold off a fair bit of equipment. We're going to sell everything, Kurt, because we started with nothing. We're going to end with nothing. So when we started this map back on February 17th, we started with $500,000 in cash. And that was it. So what I want to do is I want to end with just cash. I want to cash out. And I want to see how much money we have above and beyond 500,000 basically. See how much profit we made after expenses. Sell that. Didn't get a whole lot of money for that, but that's alright. We're going to keep the tractor for just a little bit. Before the sell-off, let's see here, we owned, at the prime of our real estate, we owned 14 and 19. Those are the two fields that I'm driving past now. We owned fields 51, 23, 39, 53, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We owned 55, so that's 7. And we owned 58. So it's 8 fields, I guess. Let's take a look. So at the height, we owned these two. So it's 2. We own this one, 3. This one, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yep. So we owned 8 fields at the height of our land ownership. Now we're down to 3. Sell that one. We're also selling off our crop. Go. So we have no more debt. We paid all the debt off. So what's in the bank is free and clear. So yeah, once Seasons comes out, the game will once again feel like it has purpose. mean, I'm really excited to see what the 19 version of Seasons has to bring. We can speculate that it includes everything that 17 did, and likely more. But what that more is, yeah. Light Genetic, I know there's a pretty decent contingent of folks that own the game, but have put very little time into it just because of wanting that Seasons. And we've got a pretty good price on sunflowers. Just over $1,000 for 1,000 liters. We took 10,000 down there, so we'll get $10,000 or so in cash out. Oh yeah, this map would be pretty interesting. Depending on the geo you picked and everything. This harvester, this will give us a good bit of chunk of money back. Remember, we bought this. Still trying to figure out what map I'm going to do for single player after Black Mountain. It's kind of fitting that maybe we end the stream on a sunset, on an evening. Let's just see how many game days we have gone through. Game days, 56 days. Yep, most of our equipment is 56 days old. So we've gone through 56 game days in the last 6 weeks. Hey Anthony, what's up? We'll keep the GPS tracking, or the guidance steering tracking that we had on the other field. I think the other map is going to be fun too. It's that Schwatzen something. It's the one that I had. OBS had issues when I was around the dense forest. Hey, Law Dog, what's up? You only got 10 hours on this harvester. So who all has the DLC? What do y'all think of it? Now officially out on Steam. This one. That's the one we want. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to mess with it since yesterday, last night. Another load of pig. Let's see, what do we got? We got 59,000 liters or $59,000 worth of pigs yet to sell. That'll get us up to $459,000. Got $88,000 worth of land there. $79,000 worth of land there. Got the main farm, which is $143,000 worth to sell. Then we've got still got a decent amount of hardware to get rid of. Some of that hardware in the list is not ours. We're still set up as contractor for lots of guys, for lots of farmers. I'd say most of the equipment on that list is most of that equipment's other folks. It's definitely a bailing DLC if you ask me. I really like those trailers.
In the pig bin.
What about the pigs?
Did you place that silo in the pig bin, or were they with the farm?
No, the silo and the pig were with the farm. We'll leave those and just sell the land when we're done.
So I don't know if we're going to be able to sell the land with buildings on it. Those two show up in our owned items list.
We'll see. Maybe we'll just deduct the. We have to sell the buildings, and maybe we'll just deduct that off the total. So Kurt is playing on Fenton Forest. What's everybody else playing on?
These little dudes has worked great for this.
Yeah, I'm thinking the next server. I think I'm gonna do Voltra.
Yeah, there's plenty of options there. I don't think the update to these break them too bad. They are kind of cheap for what you get. Having some kind of a disadvantage for the front isn't really that bad.
Yeah, they're still a very good tractor for the price. But like I tend to do with every map I play or every server I do, I try to do something fairly different than what I was just doing. So
Yep, I've done a case map. I've done a
Mercury Farms on 2
map.
I think I saw. Did I see
map.
that?
Fun to switch it up.
Did I see that Mercury Farms was in testing? I see that there was an update in testing today. Yeah, I hadn't used the Voltras from FSUK much, and I know the guy that did that pack, so I want to I want to spend some time with it. You know, the Bernie placeables, those are... I want to use those, and I want to either use those on a map that either has them placed or putting my own down. It's just figuring out the map. You know what? I might... Yeah. Mr. Mazzoni did do those Voltras from FSUK. The ones that have chains on them, they're on the server here. So this is a Mr. Mazzoni Voltra because we can get it in metallic colors. And the design color is the front loader attacher. I think you may even have another update since I put these on to better color match. But we can go here and put on chains, should we so wish. And then they have, you know, realistic engines and everything. I think he did an update so that there's different front loaders. Like you could do the Stoll front loader, you could do the couple of the other front loaders that are in there. Christopher's doing Pleasant Valley. And then I suspect at some point I'll do a Kloss map. You know, when the inevitable Kloss DLC comes out. Do a Kloss map. Oh, hey Falcon, I do not know. No, I don't. I have no idea. If we do, I suspect it might likely come from a different developer. I don't remember if that developer was one that was having a little emotional issues around the game or not. I know toward the end of 17, he was basically saying that he was probably done. Maybe I'm misremembering. But I know there are some pretty die-hard, more realistic fans. Some of them are quite talented scripters in their own right. And I have a sense that they may take up the charge. Kind of like Weepster, whatever you want to call it, has kind of taken up the charge to do a GPS like mod in this guidance steering. Kind of like the guy that did enhanced vehicle. Kind of basically did his mod that kind of replicates drive control. So it may not be the more realistic that we're used to. but doesn't mean that it's not still decent. What's BQS? Go. Oh, because. Hey, Sin Nuke, what's up? Alright, there we are. Any money we make after this is all profit. Oh, that's fine.
A few dozen pigs left to sell.
That's fine. I'm not good at English either. $35,000 worth of pigs. Pigs, 2 plots of land, 2 tractors, a harvester, a trailer, straw blower, 2 headers. Should be about it.
And all the crop that we're getting right now.
Yep. I know lots of folks were real happy when this guidance steering came out. Because they basically were so reliant on GPS that they had a real hard time driving a straight line. They did change a lot on the back end, and I think that's where a lot of folks early on got really frustrated, is that they didn't acknowledge in their own heads that a lot of the underlying aspects of the game were different. It wasn't Farm Sim 17 with prettier graphics. There were some pretty significant changes in the overall coding. Look, we don't have the factory scripts that we had early in 17. You know, like the fabric script. I didn't play 15, but I think, you know, that was big in 15. And I don't think it took too much to make it work in 17. Because by the time I knew what factory scripts were, well, the replaceables out the gazoo that used it, like your pig food mixer, your TMR mixers, your fermenting silos, things that made all kinds of stuff, all use that script. And here we are, 4 or 5 months post-release. I guess it's not 5, it's probably 4. Well, no, it came out in November, the end of November. So we are about 5 months, right? 5 months after release. And those scripts don't exist yet. It's not because no one's wanting to make them work. I mean, there's a pretty big player contingent that wants factory production. It's just they haven't gotten them working yet. The link to download the map, it is, if you go look at my playlists, I've got a playlist for map first impressions. And this map would be sometime around the middle of February in that list. And in the description of that video will be a link to another person's YouTube channel, and that is where he released the map at. So the short story is, dig up that first impressions video, and the link to ultimately get the map is in that description. This is a fun little map. It's kept us interested for about 6 weeks. I've been trying to rotate the multiplayer servers about every 4 to 6 weeks. Hey, Craplit Gaming. Trail Pit Gaming. Trail Pat. I guess that's it. Trail Pat. This way here. And set a new deal. Snap. Turn that on. Go about that far. There we go. I got it now. I'll remember it next time. I'll remember it next time. I think it has the potential to be hardcore. I've watched some folks play it. I've got access to it, but I just haven't been motivated to fire it up. Still in early access. It's still very much in development. It's not complete yet by any stretch of the imagination. I think they are trying to achieve more simulation than Farm Sim is. But they've got a pretty hard roll to they've got a pretty hard road to climb. It is indeed a relative term. I would say, compared to Farm Sim, I would say it's hardcore. Harder core. Right. I don't think it'll kill Farm Sim because there's a large contingent of players that aren't interested in what cattle and crops would bring. I think to some degree, cattle and crops can bring more farm management. to the table because you can hire workers, not just like to do field work, but you can hire employees. You can set them to do tasks every day. Like, let's say you set someone to feed your cows every morning at 4 a.m. Well, every morning at 4 a.m., your employee will go out and basically feed your cows, assuming you have the product to feed the cows with. It has elements like horseplay where you can basically tell a employee to go cultivate field 6. And you'll see them go get a tractor. You'll see them hook up to a cultivator. You'll see them then drive to field 6, at which time you'll see them do the work on field 6 and drive back. While you could be doing something completely different. So that's where I get that it's more hardcore. But like I said, they've got a much bigger role. They've got a lot further to go. I know in watching Kerbo play that you can, like with Farm Sim, the header says you can only go so fast with the harvester. But in Cat on Crops, you could overfeed the header. Cruise control isn't set by the implement. Cruise control is set by the operator. And you could very legitimately go too fast and clog your head. So if you clog the header, then you'd have to basically get out and perform a function to unclog it. Last year, sometime the end of last year, they did a grasslands update. And in the grasslands update, they implemented the concept of grass drying. So you would cut your grass and it would be wet and grass would dry. And you would work the grass that was cut and it would eventually dry to hay. And you would bale the hay. There wasn't a magical tedder that converted grass to hay instantly or anything like that. Herbo had beef cattle, and he had cows get out. He had to go hunt them down and basically bring them home. I don't think he ever figured out how the cows got out. If he just left the gate open, or if cows randomly get out on their own. Yeah, there's a lot of aspects to it. And with respect to maps in Cat on Crops, the way I understand maps work is you basically have to build them in Blender. There isn't an editor per se, like with Farm Sim. So to some degree, that could limit the interest in map making. Is the potential high level of high barrier of entry. But it's still early. I don't see it. I don't see it being a full-fledged product for probably at least another full year, if not even 2 years. And at that, will they have the money they need to develop the product they want?
You want to be on there selling it?
You can. So, what happens if they run out of investment money before they have a full product? How long will folks continue to pay to purchase early access into a game's early access lifespan. I would say probably the first 3 or 4 months of early access is probably pretty heavy people coming on board and paying. 6 to 9 months after early access, I would think folks would maybe, if they realize that, hey, this game's been early access for 7 months, maybe they'd be less apt to join in. A game that's been early access for a year and a half, maybe they'd be even more hesitant. They did. They ran the equivalent of a Kickstarter. In fact, I had slipped them some money during that phase before they even had early access. I just haven't been that motivated to play. I fired it up once when I got early access, pre-early access, and I had graphics issues. Didn't like my graphics card. Didn't like my graphics adapter version or something. The drivers. They eventually fixed that, but I've not turned it up since. I figure if Seasons is a long ways off, then I might eventually table Farm Sim and move over to that. Mess with that for a little while.
That's it. No longer pig farmers.
But only time will tell. It has seasons. It has rain. It has what's the terrain that changes? Deformable terrain. Sunflowers. All right, we know where that is. Flag it in. $1,100. All right, I guess you can sell the animal trailer. Sell the bucket. You'll need the little arms to sell the straw blower. And that would be, then you could sell the tractor too, because then that would just leave us with this tractor, the trailer, 2 headers, the harvester. Oh. Cat on crops. I know you can plant corn, and I've seen Kerbo plant wheat. Go check out his channel. Go check out Kerbo's YouTube channel. He just closed out a series on cat on crops because his game was getting unstable. So he's going to shelve cat on crops for a little while. Let it maybe go through another couple updates before coming back to it. But he did probably a good dozen episodes on it. And he's been doing videos off and on showing various features of it. Thanks, Genetic. Rolling in the money now. Oh, no problem. proved you can definitely earn a living pig farming.
Indeed.
It's not fast money, but it's steady money. All right, let's see. Here is the room. Thought I broke the server last night when I applied the DLC to it. I went to start it back up after I put the DLC on it, and it basically said the server couldn't start. Reinstall the game. What?
I didn't even notice the DLC was on it.
It's not activated. Well, I'm not sure what I did. But I basically had to reinstall the. I didn't delete the game. I didn't uninstall the game, but I basically reinstalled over top of it. Version 1.1. Then I had to install 1.3 update. Then I installed. Then it worked.
I wonder if just corrupt files or something.
I don't know. Well, I stopped the server with the web interface, but I didn't stop the dedicated server when I installed the DLC. So maybe that's what did it. I don't know. Next time I do it, I'll basically shut everything down and install it. Do you have manual attach on or anything? What kind of mods are you running? I had manual attach, but I had to get rid of it with the 1.3 update.
Didn't get rid of this weight yet. My back wheels are kind of floating a bit. This bale shredder on the front.
That thing's heavy. Hey Darren, what's up? Well, I know you know enough to look in the log, so you're not seeing anything. It's just not closing out all the way, huh? Yeah, on the PC, on my PC, it just took without any issue. But on the server on the system that's running this map, it blew glorious chunks. So I was trying to fix that. At the same time, I was trying to stage everything for the DLC video stream. So I was a little distracted yesterday evening. Hey, JP4, what's up? Yeah, a course play, that should be like a weekly update at a minimum. Use it a lot, maybe even every couple of days. Is this the EU grass then? Or is this completely different? Didn't Forgotten Plants have Forgotten Plants had some
Tractor had 56.5 hours on it. Time we pulled up.
was that the one with the white or black rim?
White. So that was the original.
I looked at the vehicle screen. It looked like we've been on the server for 56 days. All right. Yep, 56 days.
Well, minus that grain header, what's in this field is all we have left.
Yeah, the Ravenport grass is weird. They're like giant blades. Come on. There we go. Let's see, do you think we're gonna get over 750,000? 800,000? Oh my gosh, Falcon, yes. 330.
I don't know.
330 is awful early at this
What's
point.
the land value of these two last plots? 80 and 143. Yeah, I think we'll hit 800.
Means we made over $300,000. All right, later, Falcon. Thanks for dropping by. Close the pipe in. You don't need to break the pipe off. The last pass on the last field. Go. We are. Hold up the head.
Getting some bad lag right now, sorry.
Will was saying his map was like 3 gigs or something. Alright, that's it.
Alright, I'll bring this up and get it sold and get these 2 things sold.
Now we only own the field below the main farm and the farm. We never bought a header trailer, so we need to take this header down to the sell point, run the harvester back up the hill. Will, you're just about late. We're almost done. Closing out the map. We're gonna end early tonight.
It's a shame we can't sell the crop that's in the pig pen.
Oh yeah, you can't pull the pig food out.
No, there's quite a bit of food left in there.
Yeah, animals and their feeding requirements and their usages are weird. Because clearly, to fill them up, they last a lot more than 10 days. No.
Yeah, it seems like it lasts a lot longer than that.
And what Razik learned when we were doing the challenge was just get it out of the red and keep it out of the red. And that was good. Man, this thing is slow. I've seen that cattle breeds mod. I haven't tested it. Hey, Battery H, what's up? Glad you could drop by. Oh, look, there's a... What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, if I would have my fingers on the right buttons. We're busy selling off our equipment. We're closing out the map. Seeing how much money we made. And Thursday night, we're going to start a whole new project. I'm going to run a BGA. I am in Virginia, in the United States, since I know we can have an international crowd. The only thing left up here should be the grain header. Let's get that. Oh, darn tree. I used to go to school in Virginia, too. I went to school in Maryland. $32,000.